My roommate refused to pay for Wi-Fi. So I made him break his gaming setup. The sound of impact was sickening. It wasn't a dull thud, it was the sharp, explosive crack of hardened plastic shattering against drywall, followed immediately by the melodic tinkle of keycaps raining down onto a hardwood floor like hail. Are you kidding me? The scream tore through the thin wall separating my home office from the master bedroom, vibrating the water in my glass like the T-Rex scene in Jurassic Park. I didn't flinch. I didn't jump. I sat calmly in my ergonomic chair, took a slow sip of my coffee, and looked at the dual monitors in front of me. On the left screen was my work email. On the right screen was the admin panel for my Asus ROG Rapture GT AX11000 Pro router. I watched the real-time traffic monitor. The bar graph representing device, Kyle_PC, had just flatlined. It had gone from a struggling, choking trickle of data to absolute zero. Garbage. This game is garbage. Another crash. This time it sounded like a headset being thrown across the room. I smiled. A cold, tight smile that didn't reach my eyes. It was Tuesday, February 3rd. It was 10 a.m. And Kyle, my roommate, was currently experiencing the digital equivalent of trying to breathe through a coffee stirrer. To understand why I was systematically destroying the mental health of a 24-year-old man, you have to understand the arrangement. Or rather, the violation of the arrangement. I work in data science. My job requires bandwidth. I don't mean I need to watch Netflix, bandwidth. I mean I need to move terabytes of datasets to cloud servers without the connection timing out. I pay for the best internet money can buy in our city. Gigabit fiber. Symmetrical up and down. It costs $120 a month. Kyle moved in 3 months ago. He's a friend of a friend. He's between opportunities, which is code for unemployed and waiting for his Twitch streaming career to take off. When he moved in, we had a talk. Rent is $800, I told him, standing in the empty room that would soon become his nest of filth. Utilities are split 50-50. And the internet is $60 each. Kyle had laughed. He was wearing a hoodie that hadn't been washed in weeks and holding a controller like it was a religious artifact. Bro, he scoffed. Internet? You're charging me for Wi-Fi? That's like charging for air. It should be included. It's not air, Kyle, I said, my patience already fraying. It's a utility. It costs money. If you want the password, you pay the $60. Fine, fine, he waved me off. I'll Venmo you. He didn't Venmo me. The first month passed. I covered the bill. The second month passed. I asked him again. I'm a little light this month, man, Kyle said, eating a slice of pizza I bought. But my stream is picking up. I got 3 new subs yesterday. I'll get you next month. Then came yesterday. I was on a critical video call with the VP of Analytics. I was presenting a model that would determine our Q2 strategy. Suddenly, my feed froze. The audio garbled. The unstable connection banner flashed across Zoom. I checked my network monitor. The bandwidth was maxed out. 100% usage. I walked out of my office. I heard shouting from Kyle's room. Let's go. 4K stream baby. He was downloading a massive update for Call of Duty while simultaneously streaming in 4K and watching a 4K movie on his second monitor. He was sucking the pipe dry. I knocked on his door. He didn't answer. I opened it. The smell hit me first, a toxic cocktail of stale vape smoke, dirty laundry, and energy drink sweat. Kyle, I said. I'm on a call. You need to pause the download. He pulled one ear cup of his headset off. Can't do it, bro. New season drops in 10 minutes. I gotta be live for the event. Prioritization, you know. Prioritization. I felt the heat rising in my neck. I pay for this internet, Kyle. I am working. Pause it. Relax, he sneered, sliding the headset back on. You can't stop me. I have the password. Just upgrade your plan if you can't handle the heat. He turned his back on me. I stood there for a moment, staring at the back of his gaming chair. I looked at the LED lights pulsing in his custom-built PC rig, a rig that cost more than my car. He had money for graphics cards. He had money for skins. But he didn't have $60 for the pipe that made it all possible. Okay, I whispered. Upgrade the plan. I went back to my office. I finished the call on my phone's hotspot, apologizing profusely to the VP. Then, I sat down at my computer. I opened the browser. I typed 192.168.1.1. Admin login. I didn't change the password. If I changed the password, he would just come banging on my door, demanding the new one, making a scene. He would call his mom. He would whine to our mutual friends that I was gatekeeping his career. No. I needed something subtler. I needed something that would make him believe the universe itself was conspiring against him. I went to the Connected Devices tab. There it was. Kyle_battlestation_PC. And KYLE_Spox. And KYLE_iPhone. I copied the MAC addresses. These are the digital fingerprints of his hardware. Even if he changed his IP, the router would know it was him. I navigated to the QoS, Quality of Service, tab. This feature is usually designed to prioritize important traffic, like work calls over gaming. But it has another function. Bandwidth limiter. I created a new rule. I named it the Moocher Protocol. I added his devices to the rule. Then I looked at the speed settings. A standard dial-up modem from 1999 ran at 56 kilobits per second. It took 10 minutes to download a song. It was a test of patience that defined a generation. I set his download limit to 0.05 megabits per second. I set his upload limit to 0.01 megabits per second. I hovered over the Apply button. I clicked Apply. The router blinked once, a small blue wink of acknowledgement, and then resumed its steady pulse. I went to bed. I slept like a baby. Tuesday morning. 8 a.m. I woke up to the sound of Kyle stomping around the kitchen. He was usually asleep until noon, but today was ranked grind day, apparently. Coffee's out, he grunted as I walked in. He was holding an empty pot. Make more, I said, grabbing a yogurt. Can't. Gotta log in. I'm pushing for diamond rank today. Big stream. He grabbed a Red Bull from the fridge and marched back to his room. I went to my office. I opened the router interface on my second monitor just to watch. At 8:15 a.m., the traffic from Kyle_battlestation_PC spiked. He was trying to launch the game launcher. The spike hit the ceiling I had set. A flat, pathetic line at the very bottom of the graph. From the other room, come on, load, why is it spinning? I took a sip of coffee. What the hell? Kyle's voice drifted through the wall. Server issues? Is Steam down? I saw him open a browser. He was probably trying to check Down Detector. At 56 kbps, a modern web page like Down Detector, which is full of ads and scripts, takes about 4 minutes to load. Why is Chrome frozen? I heard the click of his mouse. He was spamming the refresh button. Pro tip, spamming refresh restarts the handshake process. It makes it slower. Work. Thump. He hit his desk. I leaned back. My internet, the unrestricted internet, was flying. I downloaded a 2 gigabytes dataset in seconds. For the next hour, I listened to the stages of grief. Denial, it's just a morning rush. Everyone is online. Anger, this ISP is trash. I'm gonna tweet at them. He couldn't tweet. Twitter wouldn't load. Bargaining, okay, I'll restart the router. I heard his door open. He stomped into the hallway. I heard him fiddling with the router in the living room closet. He unplugged it. My connection dropped. I waited. He plugged it back in. My connection came back. His connection came back, still throttled. The rule was saved in the non-volatile memory. A reboot doesn't clear the blacklist. Still, he screamed. How? He marched to my office door. He didn't knock. He threw it open. Yo, he yelled. Is your internet working? I looked up from my spreadsheets. I put on a face of mild confusion. Yeah. I'm on a call right now. Seems fast. Why? Mine is dead, he said, pacing around my office. It's crawling. I can't even load Google. Are you downloading something? Nope, I turned my monitor so he could see. Just Excel. Maybe it's your computer. My computer. He looked offended. My computer is a beast. It has a Ryzen 9 and 64 gigs of RAM. It's not the computer. Well, maybe you have a virus? I suggested innocently. You do download a lot of sketchy mods. Kyle's face went pale. A virus? No way. I have protection. Miner bot. I shrugged. If someone hijacked your rig to mine crypto, it would kill your bandwidth. You wouldn't even know. He ran back to his room. For the next 2 hours, he ran virus scans. I could tell because the CPU usage on his traffic graph didn't move, but I heard the fans in his room revving up like jet engines. Nothing, he yelled at noon. Clean. He tried to game again. He managed to log in. The game menu is low bandwidth. He got confident. We're in, boys, he shouted to his stream, which was currently broadcasting at 144p resolution and dropping 90% of the frames, making him look like a slideshow of a potato. He queued for a match. This was the trap. The game requires low latency. It needs packets to travel back and forth in milliseconds. With my throttle, his ping, the time it takes for data to travel, was hovering around 900 milliseconds. In a shooter game, 900 milliseconds means you are playing in the past. You shoot at an enemy, but the enemy moved 3 seconds ago. I heard the game start. Let's go, let's go. Click 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 click. What? How did he hit me? I was behind the wall. Lag. OMG the lag. I can't move. I'm rubber banding. Rubber banding is when the server corrects your position. You run forward 10 feet, and the game snaps you back 10 feet. Stop teleporting me. He was losing his mind. I could hear him slamming the mouse against the pad. I'm gonna lose my rank. I'm gonna derank because of this. He died in the game. I heard the death sound effect. Then came the keyboard smash. The one I started this story with. He stormed into my office again. He looked disheveled. His eyes were wild. It's the router, he insisted. It has to be the router. It's throttling me. It's not throttling me, I said, pulling up a speed test on my screen. Download, 980 megabits per second. Upload, 940 megabits per second. The needle pegged to the max. Kyle stared at it. He looked like he wanted to cry. Look, I said, spinning my chair. It's probably your Wi-Fi card. Or maybe the Ethernet port on your motherboard is fried. Hardware degrades, Kyle. You run that thing 24/7. My motherboard, he whispered. That's a $400 board. Sucks, I said. But hey, you saved $60 on internet this month. You can put that toward a new one. He glared at me. Then he ran out. I heard the front door slam. He was going to Micro Center. He was going to spend money he didn't have to fix a problem that didn't exist. I sat back. I could have stopped him. I could have told him. But he had told me that, internet is like air. Well, I was just checking the air quality. He came back 2 hours later with a bag. A new high-end network card. And a new Ethernet cable. Cat 8. Gold-plated. The works. I listened to him install it. The screwdriver turning. The grunt of effort as he crawled under the desk. Okay, he muttered. New hardware. Let's go. He booted up. I watched the admin panel. New device detected. MAC address, new address. Ah. He changed the hardware. The MAC address changed. For a brief, shining moment, his internet worked. Yes, he screamed. We are back. 500 ping. Nope. We are green bar. He queued up a game. He was ecstatic. See, he shouted through the wall. I told you it was the hardware. You don't know anything about tech. I smiled. I clicked the edit button on the Moocher protocol. I added the new MAC address to the list. I waited until he was in the final circle. The last 2 players alive. The moment of truth. I clicked apply. No. The scream was guttural. It was the sound of a soul leaving a body. Not now. Not now. I'm frozen. Don't kill me. I can't move. Bang. 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 He was hitting the desk with his fists. Game over. The silence that followed was heavy. Then, I heard sobbing. Actual, grown man sobbing. I walked to his door. I opened it. The room was a disaster. The keyboard was in pieces. The monitor was cracked, he must have thrown the mouse at it. Kyle was sitting on the floor, head in his hands. It's broken, he wept. My rig is broken. I can't stream. I can't game. I have no job. Man, I said, leaning against the doorframe. That's rough. I spent my rent money on the network card. He looked up at me, eyes red. I thought it would fix it. I don't have rent, Dave. I can't pay you on the first. You couldn't pay me last month either, I reminded him. I know, but I can't stay here if the internet doesn't work. It's cursed. This room is a dead zone. Maybe you should move, I suggested. Find a place with better air. He looked at me. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. He moved out 3 days later. He went back to his parents' house in the suburbs. He blamed the electrical interference in the apartment. I helped him carry his boxes to the car. I even gave him a goodbye pat on the back. When his car turned the corner, I walked back inside. I went to my office. I logged into the router. I deleted the Moocher protocol. I pulled up a speed test on my phone while standing in his empty room. 980 megabits per second. Fastest room in the house. I turned that room into a home gym. I stream workout videos in 4K every morning. They never buffer. Some might say I was too harsh. Some might say I should have just changed the password. But changing the password is a barrier. It's a no. Throttling. Throttling is a lesson. It's a lesson that says if you don't contribute to the infrastructure will eventually collapse on top of you. Kyle is still streaming from his parents' basement. I checked his channel yesterday. His title was, Finally Got Gigabit. No more lag. Don't move in with boomers who don't understand tech. I typed in the chat, glad it's working. Don't forget to pay your mom. Then I banned myself from his channel. So, tell me. Am I the monster for gaslighting my roommate into destroying his own setup and moving out, or did I just prioritize my own bandwidth?
If you have made it this far and want to see more videos like this, then kindly subscribe and turn on notifications so you may never miss another story like this.